Well, we've put the garden to bed. The rainy season's here. The tomatoes have all been canned and the corn has all been frozen, and I really appreciate the good advice you gave to me, all of you gave, last spring. And I have a lot to think about this winter while I'm preparing to put in next year's garden. But today, it's time to prune up that willow tree. It's high and it's heavy and it's over the house, and we spend a lot of time underneath of it. And since it was polarded last time, it's got to be polarded again this time. So the boys with Cowboy Tree Service are going to show up here in just a little bit. They're going to do their hybrid craft, which is a combination of mountain climber and gardener and logger. And they have a very challenging and I think exciting job every day, and they have to pay attention. And it's going to be fun watching what they do here to make that tree safer and cleaner, so that next year our backyard is a little bit scalped, but a lot less nerve-wracking. Let's see how they do this. Now, if I remember right, this weeping willow was planted by my folks around 1983, maybe. My mom just loved weeping willow trees. She'd always wanted one. So they planted this old boy as a tiny little shoot, just a little too close to the house and a little too close to the septic tank. But the result is a big, beautiful tree that graces and threatens, frankly, our property. It's a love-hate relationship if there ever was one, because it's a heavy, brittle, messy old tree, and it creates a shady and soothing backyard oasis that we just wouldn't trade for anything in the summertime. I think it was about 2002, the summer of 2002, my folks heard a ruckus in the backyard, and they went out to find a 500-pound chunk of this tree that had snapped off without any warning at all and was lying on the grass right where they sat on hot summer afternoons. So they hired a tree guy to prune it up. He climbed it, he top roped it, and he simply cut off all the main limbs where they were about 8 or 10 inches in diameter, with almost no regard to its shape. This is called polarting. It's a pruning technique, and it encourages a thick, closely spaced head of branches to grow right out of the cut-off end. Nate and his sister Amanda both have polarded trees on their places, and they look nice after a couple of years go by, but the problem is the new branches don't have much strength because the heartwood does not continue uninterrupted from the parent limb out into the new shoots. So as the new shoots get bigger and heavier, they just want to break off again. So, once polarded, always polarded, and this old boy was overdue. Another downside to polarding is that those big, flat, cut-off ends can start to rot rather than sending out the new growth. So polarding is not ideal in many ways, but it's what we have to work with. If you're a young person watching this video and you're thinking, man, I would love to do that, there are some things that you probably should start learning right now. First, and probably most important for any job or any situation in life, is situational awareness. You've got to start practicing keeping your eyes wide open and thinking a lot about what could happen from any direction, at any moment, and without any warning. Because Murphy's Law is a real thing in work like this, and if you don't learn to expect it, you're just not going to last long. Second, get a piece of light rope. Keep it wherever you spend time and start practicing knots, all kinds of knots. Now, happily, most of the knots that arborists use are the same ones that rock climbers use, so they're easy to find out about. Make those knots automatic. Third, buy a little chainsaw and learn how to start it, run it, service it, and maintain it. It won't cost you much. It's a great tool to have, and it's going to give you a big head start. Fourth, start reading and watching everything you can about trees, how they grow, different species, all of that. And pay attention when you see arborists at work. Pay attention when you see that's recently been pruned. Look it over. Start to understand what they did. And last, wherever you're working right now, whatever you're doing, learn the habit of getting to work 10 minutes early and always doing a little more than your share. Thanks for watching Essential Craftsman, and keep up the good work.